Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have Master Yi, and I'm going to show you what a Master Jungler does to a Diamond Jungler. You know, when you get matched up against one, it does happen sometimes, but there is a big difference in skill set. I know a lot of people like to talk about the rank differences, but at the same time, this should show you, if you're a Gold Jungler, Silver Jungler, Platinum Jungler, what you have to do in terms of creating a gap with your play to the junglers you're playing with and against, so that you can rise above them in Season 13. Now, Master Yi is having a decent season. He is not having, the same kind of power curve that he was at the end of last season where, Scenarios is going for rank 10, rank 5, rank 1, although he will try go for rank 1 again this season. This isn't Scenarios, though. This is just a wild Master Yi in the wild. We have here a Swain and a Rengar bot lane with an Ashe top lane. So, we had the Sylar supports, the Jhin supports, pre-season, and Season 13 is giving us a good old laugh. Now, what are we looking to do as a snowballing champion, right, against something like a Diana, where you're still not going to want to micro-invade a Diana, right? You want to get your sequencing, you want to get your 14,000 gold, 9,000 gold at 14 minutes. Diana cuts a clear short, misses her Q, flashes in a very weird way. Ashe is trying to create spacing, kills the Fiora. Oh my goodness gracious. Now that Diana's chasing down, she should have the ability to kill her, although, not every player is very good at the game. Mercy, in the meantime, has decided to rotate over here, sees this nose. Okay, look, 12 CS, no blue buff. I know you most likely did some kind of wacky clear, which you shouldn't be doing unless you're reverse clearing down. Can I invade you and play off of that? The answer is yes. I know you have no flash, and I'm gonna go ahead here, make sure I'm an alpha. A little bit of an auto cancel there, nicely done to get extra DPS, and take your blue. Top laner goes, I don't care, I don't care about you. And the Yi says, all right, nice. So what we learned from this is, watch the mid lane, watch the mid lane. What do we learn from this? What should happen isn't what is. You have to play what is, not what should happen. So Fiora, Ashe, 2v1, Ashe gets his return kill. Obviously the champion is very frustrating, but at the same time, come on, right? Do you expect a Diana to do Red Raptor's Grump gank top lane? No. But when do junglers ever do what you expect in low elo or in any elo, apparently, because this happens quite a lot. And I think that's the raw principle that you need to take forth not only in League, but in everything. Idealism is great, right? But at the same time, we have to be able to adapt to the problems that arise and be able to handle them well, or, doomed. So the Yi at this particular moment says, yeah, I see this, I'm watching this, I'm invading, I'm gonna kill you. Take this, go back topside, take this, all right? Do Krugs to get the better sequencing, right? Because the Raptors and the Krugs, the good sequencing for E is important. So here we don't do the red into the Krugs, we do the Krugs first, because even though Raptors and Krugs have a huge, disparate spawn time, at least it's now closer than if we did red first. Yasubi's weak, he's going down. We know the Diana should be showing up on the bottom side. This is what I'd look for as a diveable scenario, but he's kiting down, he's going to safety. What happens here? Well then. Oh, look! We could not have foreseen this through the most basic tracking practices. Wow, oh my goodness gracious. You have to be prepared for this. When the Yasuo behaves like that, as the jungler, doesn't matter what you are, you have to say, why would he do this? What behavior is this? Oh, right, Diana's on the bottom side. Of course, I took her stuff, I killed her. She's gonna be there, I might as well, excuse me. All right, whatever. They try to dive and they fail, which is normal. And again, do we go back to our blue side now, thinking, sequencing, farming? No, we think, what else, what other aggressive play could I make on the map here? She is though, so, I applaud the look, and I talked about this in the previous videos. In high elo, maybe you would want to go, as this kind of borderline is, you kind of want to go for plays that make sense. And for the Yi here, yeah, Lex has no mana, but she's still going to have at least one spell, and one spell is enough to deter you. And she's going to be most likely be going back to base. It's probably better to look to clear the quadrant, but as I said, I always like looking for an aggressive play that you can order, an outside rule play that you can make before you fall back to those blues. For example, hey, Diana, what's her CS? Press tab, you see it after the last time you killed her. All right, maybe her Raptors are up, if you're tracking this, obviously. If you're not, and you think, all right, Lux is gone, there's no point, go ahead and do your blue side quadrant, reset, now you can go top side, maybe gank this and then fall back for better sequencing, cut and take the dragon, or cut in and kill the mid lane, and then do the dragon, or invade and do whatever you want to do to the Diana. But he does go for the cheeky look on the Diana, on the Lux before she bases. You gotta weigh that, it's a 50-50 call. How much do you want to invest? What's your next play? Where are you going afterwards? For him, it's like, well, there's no point, I'm going back to base, I'm rich, right, which is what all Yis want to hear. All Yees are basically, you know, Alex Hormozy, the stands, and then, well, I mean, and then, you know, you kind of just leave the base and go straight for the dragon, right? And using that advantage, we see this here from the Ashe. Beautiful, thank you so much, dear. Now we're going to scan this and say, oh, look, they're going in on my melee carry in the bot lane. Can we kill him? Yes, we can, but Yi says, I know you're going to do that. I know you're going to push. I know you have range advantage. Rangerous melee. Let me go. And Diana shows up, level 4 out of the game. Lux doing Lux things. This champion, I don't know why she got buffed in that last rotation. Leave it for the Yi, always. Leave it for the Yi. What are we at? 500, 4,000 cash monies, and 7 minutes. Right, the next goal for us is to get 9,000 by 14. That's a snowballing dream. We need maximum plates. And because tower plates are not as easy to secure, because heralds don't do as much damage, there's more time before you bust open the game to take their plates. Now, Diana, again, falls. This is a jungler, right? So I don't understand the pathing, but at the same time, how easy is it for the Yi to look at the Diana, force her to make a bad play, and then react and rotate to where she's going? That's what you're seeing here. That's the message you take away from this. When any good jungler, high elo jungler, goes and plays normals, flex Q, Smurfs, I apologize, this is what you're doing, right? You see what they're doing, you press tab, you track, you anticipate, you extrapolate, and then you deny. You don't just go, oh, well, you know, I guess she's on her Krugs red, I'm gonna go farm my jungle now. No, she's on here, I'm gonna kill you, deny it, or at the very least push you off, and then use that ganking angle, and then go back to farming afterwards. And that's the kind of mentality that strong junglers will have. And as a Yi player, I know they like to FK farm, but no, stop. Snowballing junglers, any kind of snowballing jungler, Rengars, Yis, it doesn't really matter who you are. Look to play the map and play to reality, right? Not this theoretical, hey, Diana's gonna FK farm, she's gonna become difficult to kill. Okay, well, this is not a very good jungler. I can abuse this jungler. And again, this is the jungler. Now, the Ashe is just making me laugh, and then Diana shows up here. So Diana shows up here again, level 5. She's like, Yi is just completely denying her. She's gonna go ahead and try to get the. How are you an actual jungler, man? Anyway, so we have here the. I think we've seen this play before, but like, I don't. Maybe they were not. I don't know what's going on. But the point is, the Diana's being forced into these negative scenarios. And smite, auto attack again. Make sure we go to alpha. You saved the Yi. You saved okay, so, you know, again, sometimes things, you know, okay, let me put it this way. You know, you'd want to counter the enemy jungler without countering yourself. Now, I released on the main channel how to counter every jungler. And the highest ranked Warwick player at the moment on the server is a top lane Warwick. He played a jungle game, right? And all the highlights are against the Kindred are him just running into the Kindred and just dying. It was really funny. I laughed myself watching because I know it was just a troll, like the game was over. But the point was the Kindred counters the Warwick because they're able to do everything necessary. But the Warwick was also putting themselves in position to be countered, right? So the Yasuo, the Diana, whoever you're facing, as long as you do what you need to do to counter them, sometimes you put them in such a stressful environment that they'll start to do things that make them counter themselves as well, which means you're like doubling down on that snowball, right? Because you keep taking one and then minusing one. You take one, then minus one. So it's a +2 every time for you. I hope that makes sense, but that's really the mentality that you want to have. Very animated today. That you want to have to put these games away. You know, if you don't, and I had a coaching session again last night, Virkayu.gg should launch tomorrow, and probably will stream to cap it off. Gotta talk about the boot camp as well on the stream, everything, end of January. A coaching session with the Warwick where he was having such a good early game, but there were these mistakes where he missed the ability to do this. Like this kind of counter gank here, just showing up here to see this fight in the mid lane. Diana shows up to try to do something, just get in there. We have a 3-level lead. I was playing a game the other day, actually. You know, it was a flex game, so there was a huge, you know, there was a gap between myself and the jungler. They had like the master mid or something, which I hate. Like put the masters or like challengers or grandmasters against each other in flex, but they don't do that. But I digress. The point was that it's so easy to get a 3 to 4 level lead over a diamond jungler, over a platinum jungler, over gold, silver, bronze jungler, depending on what your elo is. If you're up 500, 1000 LP above them, the reads that he's making and the mistakes that Dad is making are so glaringly obvious when you look at it like this. But the skill set is being able to recognize it in game. But here, I mean, hopefully in this channel, I teach you everything you need to know about that. Like, if you're a challenger jungler, you should be doing this to master jungler every single game. And by and by, they usually do. Usually. When you clear vision, though, they see you. It's a Lux, it's a Caitlyn, it's high range. You know the Dan is in the area. You know there's a dragon spawning. We have the Prior here at the moment. The Swain is obviously doing good work here. The Rengar's whatever. The Ashe and the Rengar, who knows. We're going to go ahead and snack this off. But again, he is a jungler. Diana's a jungler. This is the thing where I would want to be kiting this up just in case bot lane shows, but obviously in this case they don't. They're not going to contest. We're going to snack that up. We have an RNG Scuttle as well. Go for that. Wards here in the bush are very, very good if you're bot laner because we saw Diana. You see? We saw the Diana here. They know Yee's here. The Diana's going to anticipate that he's going to show up once they push up. I ward it and back off. Let it push in. Then the Yee can shove. All right, here we go. We're going to press the magic button. Off we go. Nice hook by the Swain. Mega counter. Yeah, there you go. Good shutdown. Stopwatch, Lux, Caitlyn trap, Q. It's chain CC. Interrupt the W. Chain CC is what we need. But because we fed mid, tracked mid and held mid and still got fed on the bottom lane. Come on. Oh, Caitlyn, Lux, man. Ooh, Galio. Come on. No. I'm trying to create the hype there at the end, but no. So, you know, Caitlyn Lux is a tough one, right? We're only up 2k gold, but for example, for the Yi, we are at 7,600. We have 1 minute to get 1,400 cash money gold. This was not properly utilized in this particular game state, unfortunately. We didn't see those strong herald pushes that we saw in the scenarios video on the main channel a couple months back, talking about like busting open one tower, going down, busting open another, just with auto attacks because you can. Kraken Slayer Blade, it's just do this, right? Lethal Tempo, Kraken Slayer Blade, you got your Jinx's Ray Blade, you're having people going the Rav later on, still experimenting with Tiamat. Don't really need it, but, you know, those 3 items. Why mess with a good thing? Okay, look, you decided to do stuff. 102 CS to 87, well, that is a little bit suspicious. But, you know, what I've learned from this game is that everything that should be happening in this game just is not. Except for what the Yi is doing, which is reacting to what is happening and playing perfectly around it. Now, again, red buff is up. We have the Hextep map, which I haven't seen a lot of lately. Yeet on over. Invite yourself to dinner within her jungle. Observe the tasty snackings of the Brambleback. Galio says, hey, my homie, let's go. We say, yes, you're only level 10. He says, no matter, I will help you. Bot lane are thinking, Rengar, Swain bot lane. Oh, shit. And, you know, imagine that oh shit being like some regal English person who never really swears, you know. Oh, shit, you know, what language? Because you're totally surprised and flabbergasted by the nature of how the bot lane is showing up here. Sorry, the jungle mid are showing up here in the bot lane. And again, you know, you want this, no, it's not Stella, it's Stella. We saw Stella XY or something like this. Similar name. Animation cancel again on that W gets him the kill, right? That's fine for Yi. Did we get it? Close. Very close. Did we give it to him? What do you guys think? I will give it to him. Because, you know, it's not like he had a normal game with human being competition, you know, where a shutdown could have happened from the enemy jungler, giving him nice 1,000 bonus for his efforts. But hey, you know what? Our bot lane takes a turret just at under 15 minutes. We are alive. Swain is now roving to the top lane. This is the exact kind of stuff that lets you close games out. Now, in the coaching, as I said, the Warwick, not the Warwick from the earlier example, the Silver Warwick that I was coaching, there's a similar scenario, right? 12 to 15, decent early game, good reads, counter ganks, double scuttles, all the stuff that you want to coach and teach about having the best positioning for yourself to kind of carry a game, right? What happens, though, is that at this particular moment, around 22 minutes, he's on the wrong side, right? Maybe you have a dragon, and or 2 dragons, and a 3rd one, 4th one spawns. You're on top side when it's up, or a 2nd herald goes up your bot side. You're missing the windows to keep that pressure up. So let's see how we can do that here. We don't go for the Krugs, we go for the red into the Raptors. We see here the Galio and the Swain going in on the Yasuo, so we're already repositioning to take this. We're not worried about the full quadrant. We want to make sure we get the objective ASAP, because Lux is going to match the rotational power here. Rengo's ISO in the bottom lane. We could, but, you know, trust your teammate. Make the read here. Do I need to rotate and get the kill first and then finish the Herald, or does my team have it? You can learn this power by clicking on your minimap or using an F key, and you will see. And now, of course, because we're fed level 12, 3 levels up still, this is exactly the kind of stuff you should have to do when you want to smurf and climb fast. Crown of the Shadow Queen. Crown of the Shadow Queen, so. Ooh. Ooh, 80 2K23. Yeah, when they have Crown of the Shadow Queen, you know, you want to make sure you do, someone else does damage to them before you go in. As Scenarios always said with Master Yi stuff, you got to time your alpha appropriately, know when you can actually like just full on engage like that, or when you need to be a bit more cautious. Why would you walk next to the wall? See, this is the stuff that, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. We got one more there, we got one more alpha, nice. Whoa. King's applause. I like watching clean Yi play because the champion is by nature simple. The champion is a little bit diseased. We all know this. But seeing animation cancels and full understanding of not looking at the cooldowns, knowing that we're going to reduce that alpha, knowing when to use it, knowing the range, knowing the positioning necessary, amplifying the damage on that E true damage spike that we want, right? This thing right here. 5 seconds of true damage. For some reason. So that kind of stuff I think is really nice to watch when it's in the hands of the right player. But if you were a Warwick, for example, that's super fed, you could R over the wall here, right? There's still, you can make all of these plays that he's making with any sort of jungler. It just looks a little bit more fancy. Ironically, because of the animation cancer, but you're playing a brain dead champion, even more so. And as long as you're in that position to kill the bot lane, push, take the second herald, see how he bases here too? We take this, we go back to base, we've saved the herald, we go straight out to take the dragon, we move into their space, we have a huge lead, we are not going back to our blue side here, we're playing off of this, we're flanking, we're looking at this, we're going for the smite here on the Fiora, we are now getting luxed, so we're going to alpha to reposition, make sure we get that absolute disgusting kill on the Diana there, going to go back into the Caitlyn here, healing, 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 Fiora does Fiora things, with Caitlyn, sorry, with Lux, excuse me, Caitlyn's already dead, we got her, so Galio's ulting the Rengar. You're going to make sure he gets that flash Q. We're going to use that attack speed boost on our amplified and powered Q. Well then, fast-paced game, but only 5k ahead. Is 5k comebackable? Yes, it is, but because we timed objectives, because we went back to base, ensured we got the second herald and didn't farm too much. Farm 2 camps, took it, went top lane, got a pick, looked to do something more, didn't do anything, moved in, killed their bot lane, reset, go ahead, take that dragon, flank in, take fights. We died, unfortunately, but that, I mean, they're allowed to make plays, we're allowed to die. Minimally, ideally, but excuse me. Rageblade complete, Tiamat complete. The AoE damage is going to be unnatural. Why are you taking camps? So you see this? Look, when you are fed Yi with 12,500 any jungler, 12,500 gold, you just walk at the camp, you're like, who said you could take this camp? You just take it. You say, no, this is mine. You're a Rengar bot lane, you're useless. I'm the carry here. And when you're playing a carry jungler, that's the kind of power we want to have. Strong power. The tick damage, yeah, I'm still getting used to that as well. The 2 ticks from the pet, and then I'm still learning the muscle memory for how much damage that actually is going to be. So the Caitlyn's now holding. We do have the second herald we can use. We're once more invading for like the 3rd time for this red buff. We have 2 people pushing bot lane. We can collapse into this, but they can obviously push up. If they have snowball-y champions that can solo those barons, you do have to be cautious about the reverse sneak. They'll make that trade. Instead, they're looking to hold in a position that they shouldn't be. We're going to make sure we summon the herald for the push in the bottom lane. Get the kills we can. If people get, all die, then it is what it is. Try get this tower as much as you possibly can. Don't die though, please. As I said, don't die. But yes, ideally, if they're going to push up here and someone makes a pick and people are dead, just use the macro pressure. Because if you don't have this macro pressure, if you just piss off, they're going to take the numbers advantage onto the Baron. So you want to make sure that numbers advantage gets translated to a tower push so they have to deal with you and they don't get the Baron. Whereas if you have 2 people getting picked off, like in silver and gold or whatever, and you kind of, oh look, oh no, we got to do this here, then they're just going to go do that. And then you're going to coin flip it, die, get shut down, they're going to shove up, and then you're like, oh great. But if you use the Herald for the macro pressure, they have to respond to it. They have to. But obviously now we want to ward this and do this. Master, you can do the Giga Solo game. He's going to Hex Tech over. Yeah. I would look for a bait here, definitely. Like, there's nothing else. Okay, Yasuo shows, Lux shows. Yep, that's free. So that's what you're looking for here. You take your camps as necessary, you move into the zone where you want to ward up and position. You look in the minimap, you stare at it. Okay, you're tracking, you're warding, you're ready. You're going to pull it or not. As soon as people show mispositioned, pull the trigger, do it. And now if they do show up, you turn and you kill them, right? You don't, are we basing because we have, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and finish Ravenous. Ashe hits the ultimate, and Rengar says, yes! And he's able to actually, I'm surprised actually. This Rengar, I was not sure he was going to be able to kill anything this game. But then again, the rest of his team kind of showed up. This brings up an important point though. You know, yeah, you have the item, but could we just run them down and end the game? Yes. And I think in certain elos, you might want to not base there, even if it's the best thing for you, because your team's going to pull that trigger in the fight, and maybe the enemy jungler or someone's a little bit more, you know, excuse me, a little bit more of a hands owner. So, like, you could just shut your whole team down with Baron because you're in base. Now, could you clean up? Sure, but you know what I mean. Gotta weigh the pro and con. Is it worth getting the item? Do I have time to get the item? Will my team be safer? What are they doing next? And that's just like a quick microsecond calculation, you know? You're not sitting there writing a book about it. The damage, though, man. I mean, the alpha is up. I think Fiora is just chunking him with the Caitlyn or the Lux. But I mean, at this point, a 2-for-1? What do you think, guys? 2-for-1 is a good thing? I don't think so. I think the tower dive here is a little bit irresponsible, considering we based, so we couldn't really push harder after the Baron if no one else needed to base. If some people also need to base, it's fine, but if you're the only one that needs to base, you know. And then, of course, we run on down and we just tower dive and die. So, in not Master, if you are not high elo, I would preach slightly more caution in this particular moment. Don't die. Kill 2, do it. Kill 3, kill 4, pentakill, end the game. But the goal here is push out, don't die to the tower, take the tower, get the dragon. Do not, under any circumstances, give shutdowns. Only kill 2 while your team cleans up doing nothing because you got a Rengar bot lane and Ashe top lane. You're the only person that's carrying this game. If you're dead, if you're off the map, if you stop taking objectives, it's over. You lose. You cry, you're sad, and then you blame your teammates in Discords and everyone's like, we're sorry, man, your team just sucks. Unlucky, man. You'll win the next. No. It's all on you. On that note, I think I should just launch a coaching channel. I have my private coaching VODs that I'm going to put up on the site as well, just like on Patreon. But I think like 5 of these a week, don't care about the views. I just want 1,000 to 4,000 watch hours so I can monetize it, and I'll just upload 5 different elos a week, different champions, and just like coaching VODs for everyone, just like open source stuff. If I have the time, we'll see. That would be good for this kind of stuff. Because then we can pause, right? For this, I'm kind of like hybrid, a little bit of an analysis, hopefully a lot of analysis, some tips, but we're running in real time, right? So I get distracted, we move from one thing to the next, and he shows up, and then, well, who could have foreseen a Mercy, a Quadra or Penta in one game of League of Legends? Who knew? Anyway, so we get the Hextech Soul, that's basically a broken soul on him. We move to the mid lane, we get the fights, like, that's fine. But you might not be so lucky in another elo, where your early tower dive and your base caused a disparate existence with your team where they all died, and now you're alive and their whole team's alive, and then you die and then your team spawns, but now their whole team's alive, and it's just like 25 minutes of nonsense before someone wins, and it might not even be you, so keep those tips in mind regarding mid to the late game. But for the early game, if you're a better jungler than the enemy jungler, you truly deserve to be higher ranked than you are, then you should be able to do this with whatever they show on the map. Cinematic Ashe era to close. Bootcamp information coming up after this. Zara.gg live companion guides from RSG and all the other junglers linked below. Virkayu.gg launching very soon. Main channel has how to counter every jungler. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. And to start off for Season 13, I will be hosting another bootcamp with Coach Kybert for laners and junglers and for every single role. Topics on your screen now starts end of January 30th. Basically, we're going to be covering everything in this video in depth related to you, giving you some active examples, some drills, everything to make you a better League of Legends player as a whole, all through a really in-depth 2-week bootcamp from January 30th onward. And additionally, I will be raffling off a $400 coaching package to a lucky winner who subscribes in the first 100 tickets, which means a further 4 hours of coaching directly with me, all free for you after the bootcamp is finished. And overall, the bootcamp is just chocked full of absolute free coaching, free VOD reviews, Q&As. We have 10 different sessions for you from myself and Coach Kybert. We have other challenger coaches on call. Essentially, you're looking at something like 30 coaching sessions for the price of 1, all within a community hosted by Gosu Academy. So click the link in the description below, sign up, join the Discord, and I will see you all there to learn everything you need to know about Season 13 jungling and laning so that you can climb to your ranked goals and beyond.